everybody, and welcome to episode 16 of Book Writing Tips, quick tips for new and seasoned authors. And I am your host, Alba Arango. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about how you, as an author or an aspiring author, or even as a reader, how can you support other authors and how can other authors support you without spending any money? Because let's face it, in today's economy, not spending money is going to be a good thing. So sit back, relax, and let's see how we can support each other. Alrighty then. Today's episode is going to be in two parts as always. In the first part, I'm actually going to talk about spending a little bit of money. It's a very short part though, trust me. Most of it is part 2 is going to be about not spending any money. But I do want to emphasize the importance of buying books and why I do think if you have some extra money, buying books can help you personally as an author in supporting other authors, but also in supporting the industry in general. And I'm going to tell you why with that. And in part 2, I have 7 different ways that we can support each other as authors and how you can support other authors and how you can encourage non-authors to support authors as well. So let's get right down to it. Part 1. Why I think it's important to buy books. When I attended my very first writers conference back in 2008, I went to a session and she was an agent from a very prominent agency that specialized in children's books, which is why I went to her thing. But one of the things that she said is that if you want to make money, if your plan is to make money as an author. So whether it's just, you want some extra discretionary income to, spend on the movies or going to Disneyland which is really expensive, by the way. So you need quite a bit of a discretionary money for that. Or if you're really thinking of making this as like a secondary career, whatever the case may be, if your thought is to become an author and make money at it, then you need to be supporting the industry that you want to be a part of. So you should be buying books. You should be buying books as gifts if you've got, kids in the family, if you've got grandkids, or if you've got nieces and nephews. Buying books is not only a great present, and their parents will probably be excited about that, but it's also putting money into the industry that we are trying to keep afloat in this new digital age. So make sure you are buying books, not just from other authors that you know, but buying books in general. Now, I have occasionally heard authors say, yeah, but if you encourage people, like if you write, cozy mysteries and you're encouraging other people, to buy other people's cozy mystery books, and aren't you kind of like shooting yourself in the foot? Because what if they really like that author and then they start buying their books instead of yours? And let me just stop that right now. First of all, that is everything you're saying right there. If you hear people saying that, is wrong. Let me explain. If you have a reader who reads a really good young adult urban fantasy book, having them read that really good urban fantasy book is not going to deter them from reading your really good urban fantasy book. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. When someone reads a really good book in a specific genre, they want to read more books in that same genre because they really enjoyed it. So having authors, supporting authors in your own genre by encouraging readers to buy books from those authors is only helping you. Okay? Again, they are not competition. We're all in this together. The more good books that are put out there in your genre, the more likely that readers are going to want to read your book. So encouraging people to buy books in the same genre as yours is actually helping you as well. Now, one last thing about buying books, and that is if you are going to buy an author's book, please, please, please consider going to your local bookstore, especially an indie bookstore, and requesting their book through them. That way, you're not only supporting your author, but you're also supporting small business, indie bookstores, which we love and want to keep in business as much as possible. So please, please, please consider that. And if your indie bookstore doesn't carry it or can't buy it, then consider going to Barnes and Nobles. The more that we can keep these brick and mortar stores afloat, the better options there are for readers. Because some of you know that some readers are just adamantly anti-Amazon. So you want to have, if you can, to support these other places where people can go buy books. All right, but enough about spending money. Let's get to what you really want to hear, and that is how can we support authors without spending money? But before we get to that, it's that time. It is Crazy Law / Writing Prompt. So if you're new to the show, every week I give you a writing challenge. And that is, I pick a law from history. And it's usually a really crazy law that I don't even know how or why they come up with this. But the challenge is to write a story based on that crazy law. So it could be why you think that law was created or how you think they could possibly enforce it. But it is just a way to flex your writing muscles. So here you go. Today's writing prompt. In Danbury, Connecticut, no one may fly a kite on the streets without a permit from the mayor. Now, there you go. It's up to you to write the story on that. And if I think back to my childhood, I could probably come up with a pretty good reason why they had to make that a law. But I will let you and your imaginations run wild with that. All right, let's get down to it. Part 2. How can you support an author without spending money? By the way, if you are enjoying this show, please, please, please give it a like or leave me a comment on possible things you would like me to talk about in the future. I would definitely love to hear from you. But here we go. There are 7 ways I'm going to give you to support an author without spending any money. And I think number 7 is probably, in my opinion, the most important, but any one of them is good. And if you can do all of them, even better. Here we go. Number 1, and maybe this one's kind of obvious. That is to leave a rating and or a review about that author's book. Now that can be on Amazon. It could be on Goodreads. If you participate in BookBub or Library Thing or any of those type of subscription services, then by all means, please, please leave at least a rating, but even better would be a review. Ratings and reviews actually boost the ranking in Amazon and will actually help them kind of recommend this author's book to other people. So the more ratings, rankings that they get, the more likely Amazon is to put that down at the bottom where it says recommended. That's where these people come from. They come from the ratings and reviews that are left by people. So please, please, please consider leaving a rating or review for your author. All right. Number 2, request their book at your local library. Now, before you start suddenly creating this list of every single library on the planet, just know that most libraries only allow you to request a book if you have a library card with them. But if you do have a library card and they don't carry that book in the library, there is usually a form online you can fill out with the information of the book and the author. And then if that is in their budget, they will hopefully order that book for you. And that helps the author by 1, giving the exposure in the library. And 2, the library will most likely purchase that book. So you're helping them financially that way without spending any money. All right. Number 3. Recommend your author's book to your friends, to your colleagues. If you know that, your friend who's an author wrote a cozy mystery and someone at work is always reading cozy mysteries, you might want to recommend it to them. If there is a bookstore that has a book club and that they do mysteries, then perhaps you could recommend that they do your friend's book. And then that would actually, again, help your friend because they will be purchasing the book. Plus they'll be discussing the book and hopefully rating the book. So that is a great way to kind of spread the love of your friend's book among other people. All right. Number 4. if your author has a newsletter. Now, I did a whole podcast on newsletters and why I think authors really should invest the time into creating newsletters. Most authors do have a newsletter. So if they have a newsletter, make sure you don't just follow and join it, but when it comes into your mailbox, make sure you open it. And here is this important part: engage with it. So if they have a link, click on the link wherever it may take you. It might take you to their Amazon page, might take you to some event, but click on the link. Every time you engage with that author's newsletter in this way, it lets the algorithm know, like Google will know that, hey, this is really good. We're going to keep recommending this to people. Now, if you are new to the newsletter, do be sure to check your spam. So if you're not seeing this author's emails come in, you may need to check your spam folder. Some email servers, I know I have Cox, and Cox will sometimes do this. If it is sent to a group, like if your author sends the newsletter to a group, sometimes your email server will take that as spam and will put it in the spam box. So just make sure you're checking the spam box to make sure your author's newsletter isn't ending up there. All right, number 5, attend events, if you are able to, that your author is going to. So for example, if they have a book signing at, say, a coffee shop, be sure to stop by. Be sure to stop by, not just, if you've already bought the book, still stop by, because what's going to happen is, one, if you're crowding around the table, if there's 2 or 3 people crowding around the table where the author is, other patrons of the coffee shop are going to be curious as to what's going on, and that'll generate interest for that author. But also it shows the coffee shop that, hey, this author is actually drumming up business for us, and they might be more likely to be invited back for another signing. So make sure you are attending author events, even if it's just to stop by and say hi. But again, your presence there is a good way to show the author support, and that helps them emotionally as well, but also to show the event venue that this author is worth having back. All right, number 6. If you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, please be sure to read your author's book. Now, if you've already read it and you already own a paper, you may think, well, I already own the paper one. But if you download the Kindle Unlimited, please be sure you actually do read it. At least go through the motions that you are reading it, because the way authors get paid through Kindle Unlimited is by number of pages read. So it doesn't matter if you downloaded it. If you didn't read it, they aren't getting any money from this. But if you are flipping through the pages, then Amazon will count that as pages read, and then your author will get paid. Plus, the more that is downloaded, the more that it's read, the more likely, again, Amazon is to recommend it to other readers. Now, I'm going to get to what I consider to be probably the most important one. All of these are good, by the way. And if you do even just one of these, you're really already helping your author. And if you can do more than one, even better. But here we go. Number 7, and my final way that I think you can help authors by not spending any money is this: social media. I know. Oh, social media. Yes. If you follow an author on social media, that is part of it. I definitely would encourage you to like, comment, but engage with them. The more you like and comment on their posts, the more that app, whether it's Threads or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, the more the algorithm will push out that author to more people. You know how those algorithms work. The more likes, the more comments, the more engagement, the more they open up that post to other readers. But that's only part of the way you can support them on social media. The other way is to share their posts. So if they post about an upcoming event, share that event. If you share it on your page, not only does it help boost the algorithm for that author's post, but it also exposes that author's event to your audience as well. So even more people can see this author's event. So that is another way you can do that. Encourage your followers to attend the event. Encourage your followers to buy the books. You can around Christmas time say, hey, this author has these books. If you're looking for a book for a friend, consider buying these books. Anything like that will really help promote your author to your followers, to your friends, and can really help an author out. And this is the way that we as authors can support each other. It's the way aspiring authors can support already published authors. It's the way published authors can support each other. It's the way we as readers can support authors that we love, even authors we don't know. But this is the way our community can help each other without having to spend a lot of money. Thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope to see you back next Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, and I will see you then. Mwah.